Archangel Michael says, the moment you stood up for yourself, a storm began in the lives of those who once felt they had power over you. This storm was not just emotional, it shattered their plans. They never expected you to rise above the manipulation. They tried many ways to bend you, trick you, or trap you into staying small. But your soul refused. Your spirit was chosen for more. They lost control the day you stopped answering out of fear and started acting from truth. You refused to shrink again. People around them are whispering. They are stunned by your strength, and many are scared that the old power they held is vanishing. Type Amen to get blessing 333. The one who thought they could puppeteer your mind is now restless. They walk with a heavy heart and trembling hands. They are obsessed, but not with love, with the fear of losing the grip they once held. Your name is now being mentioned in places of envy and admiration at the same time. Some are cheering for you secretly, some are boiling in silence. You've become the proof that control is an illusion. You are no longer soft clay in their hands. You became unshakable stone overnight. And that's what has them going insane. Type Amen to get blessing 644. Archangel Michael says, when the chains fell, they heard it loud. It wasn't just your freedom ringing, it was the crumbling of their illusion. They didn't just lose access to you, they lost a version of themselves they projected onto you. They've been trying to recreate that version. But no matter what they do, it's gone. They are staring at their own emptiness, trying to blame you for it. The more you shine, the more unhinged they become. And the people who supported them? They are watching you with eyes wide in disbelief. No one expected the tables to turn this hard. They are shocked you didn't beg. They are shocked you didn't break. They are shocked that you kept walking, head high, heart clear. Type Amen to get blessing 117. They tried to control your words, and when they couldn't, they tried to destroy your voice. But your voice is now louder, stronger, divine. What you speak now comes from power, not pain. Their plans to trap you are failing like dominoes. What they built against you in the dark is falling apart in public view. And it's making them unravel. You were supposed to be silent, submissive, stuck. But look at you now, free, firm, and flourishing. They are choking on their own shock. And the more they try to explain your freedom, the crazier they sound. Because deep down, even they know, no one can control someone who is truly awakened. Type Amen to get blessing 892. The madness they carry now is not hatred. It is confusion. They can't believe how powerless they've become in your story. They stalk your peace, hoping to find a crack. But peace like yours doesn't have weak spots. It's built from battles you already won. They are watching you laugh, smile, and move forward, while their mind replays every moment they lost control. Their world is cracking because your silence became more powerful than their chaos. Archangel Michael says, do not look back. Their confusion is not your burden. Their spiral is not your responsibility. Type Amen to get blessing 528. This is the season where your power is no longer hidden. People are whispering about your growth. Some call it rebellion, others call it magic. They say you've changed. And they're right, you've changed beyond recognition. You've become someone no one can toy with. They tried to label you difficult. But now, those labels are fading. And all that's left is your truth, glowing and unashamed. They never believed you'd find your voice. But you did, and now it echoes louder than all their lies. Type Amen to get blessing 1017. You were once afraid of losing them. Now, they are terrified of losing the version of you that needed them. And that version no longer exists. Their ego is collapsing. Because no amount of games can bring back the control they once had. You've burned the script and started writing your own. They are haunted by your detachment. It hurts them more than any revenge ever could. Because indifference is the loudest silence. Every time you rise, they sink deeper into madness. Because your peace reminds them of the war they started and never won. Type Amen to get blessing 274. Archangel Michael says, this is divine reversal. The one who once whispered threats is now whispering regrets. They are spiraling, not because of you, but because of your growth. Their world was built on the belief you would always be there to bend. But now that you've walked away, their world is cracking under its own lies. Even people who once doubted you are now apologizing in their hearts. Because they see now, you were never the problem. You were just too free for their cages. This chaos is their karma. Your peace is your reward. Type Amen to get blessing 388. They tried to test you by pushing your buttons. Now they're terrified of what happens when you don't react. That silence is their biggest fear. They fumble through excuses. They try to twist your image. But no lie can survive the fire of truth you walk in. You've become untouchable. Not because you're hidden, but because you're honest. You live in truth, and that truth is driving them insane. Their obsession is a prison they built with their own hands. And every time they try to escape it, they see your face shining brighter. Type Amen to get blessing 742. You were the one they thought they could always manipulate. But the game ended when you discovered your worth. Now, they're the ones being played, by their own ego. They check on you constantly. But every update they see shatters them. Because you're not broken, you're blooming. They thought you needed them to feel valuable. But you've become your own validation. And now, they're trying to figure out who they are without power over you. People around them are confused. How did they lose you, they ask. But the answer is simple, they never deserved the version of you they tried to control. Type Amen to get blessing 916. They see your confidence and call it arrogance. They see your boundaries and call them walls. But deep down, they wish they had your strength. You're not cold, you're healed. And that healing makes people uncomfortable, especially the ones who fed on your old wounds. They miss the version of you who tolerated their chaos. But that version has vanished with no return. And now, they're drowning in regret and rage. The same people who mocked your tears are now choking on their own. Because you're gone, and better without them. Type Amen to get blessing 666. Archangel Michael says, their madness is not your concern. It is the echo of their own choices. You are not their cure. You were never created to be controlled. You were born to walk freely under divine light. And that truth shakes everything built on lies. Let them talk. Let them spiral. Let them face the mirror they tried to shatter you with. They didn't just lose control, they lost access to your energy forever. That is what's making them unravel. Type Amen to get blessing 211. They will try to return. They will try to apologize. But not from love, from the fear of you rising even more. But your new self doesn't need validation. You are whole, radiant, and forward-moving. The door to the past is shut tight. Let their madness grow. You owe them nothing. Not your energy. Not your silence. Not even your revenge. You were called to rise. And rise you did, in full fire, full truth, and full glory. Type Amen to get blessing 899. They stare at your glow with disbelief. They whisper, it can't be real, but your glow keeps getting brighter. Because it's not just survival, it's transformation. They are jealous not because you moved on, but because you moved on without crumbling. Your silence is louder than their shouting. Your grace is heavier than their guilt. They tried to make you small, and now they're drowning in the shadow of your becoming. The same shadow they mocked is now the light others follow. You are no longer a name in their mouth, you are a fire in their memory. Everything they once thought they controlled has turned against them. Their influence, their tactics, their whispers, they all backfire now. You broke free, and their mind is breaking trying to accept it. Type Amen to get blessing 450. They made you feel like you had to earn love. Now they see you giving love to yourself, and it breaks them. You no longer seek permission to feel whole. Their addiction wasn't to you, it was to the control they had over you. And now that control is gone, they're empty. Hollow. Lost. They study your posts, your steps, your presence. Looking for weakness, looking for softness. But all they find is strength forged from the fire they threw at you. They see crowds gathering around you now. People clapping, blessing, believing in you. And that belief burns them like truth always does. Type Amen to get blessing 300. Your destiny scared them before. But now that you're walking in it, it's driving them insane. They never imagined you would rise above the pit they dug. Their laughter has turned to silence. Their pride has become panic. And their confidence is crumbling with every step you take forward. Archangel Michael says, heaven is not silent when its chosen are attacked. What they thought was unseen has been recorded. What they thought they could escape is returning multiplied. This is not just your victory, it's a divine reversal. And they cannot stop what's coming next. Type Amen to get blessing 740. They'll claim you changed overnight. But you know it took every sleepless night to become who you are now. They didn't see the pain, just the power. They are obsessed with the idea that you now belong to no one. Not them. Not their story. Not their version of you. They tell others you're heartless. But the truth is, you finally chose your own heart over theirs. And that decision broke their illusion. They can't unsee what you've become. You haunt their thoughts because you're no longer a prisoner in their script. You're the writer now. Type Amen to get blessing 1111. People are watching you with curiosity. How did they get so strong, they wonder. But they weren't there when you cried in silence and still stood up the next day. You've become the story they try to explain but can't understand. You're the shock they didn't prepare for. You're the victory they never thought was possible. Now, the ones who once tried to silence you are asking around about your next move. They pretend not to care, but they're watching everything. Every post. Every smile. And with every glimpse of your freedom, their mind spirals further. Because you weren't supposed to win, but you did. Type Amen to get blessing 556. The mask they wore is slipping. The truth they hid is leaking. And people around them are starting to see clearly. No more fake concern. No more twisted stories. Eyes are opening, and truth is roaring through every lie they tried to sell. They can't speak your name without tasting defeat. They can't remember your face without burning with guilt. That's the cost of trying to cage someone who was born to fly. You were quiet before, but now your silence is sacred. It's the loudest reminder that you are not who they thought they could keep down. Type Amen to get blessing 289. Their mind plays back every word they said to break you. And it backfires. Because you took those words, planted them, and grew roots they can't destroy. Archangel Michael says, the same people who celebrated your weakness are now trembling at your strength. They can no longer pretend. This madness inside them is divine justice. They lost more than control, they lost access to your destiny. And they know it. Their jealousy now wears the face of concern. But your soul knows the difference. You've been marked by heaven. Type Amen to get blessing 121. They are the ones who thought you needed their approval to shine. But now you walk like royalty without looking back. That confidence is crushing them. They're acting like victims, spinning tales. But people are starting to see through it. The more they talk, the more they expose themselves. You were never the villain, they just couldn't handle the fact you had your own mind. Now, that mind is building a life they can't touch. And the truth? The truth is, you were always meant for more. And they always knew it. Type Amen to get blessing 433. They're watching you transform and it scares them. Because they realize they could never stop this version of you. Not now, not ever. Every message they sent to destroy you, every whisper behind your back, it's coming back to them like a mirror. And it's cutting. You, on the other hand, are unbothered. Focused. Blessed. And that is making them mad beyond control. Their power over you was never real. It was borrowed from your silence. But your silence is now a sword, and it slices through every lie. Type Amen to get blessing 611. The shock in their eyes is not just confusion. It's fear. Fear that you're no longer returning to the cage they built. You've built your own home. Your own peace. Your own freedom. And no one can take it from you. Let them talk. Let them burn. Let them spiral. You are protected. Elevated. Watched over by divine light. Archangel Michael says, you were never alone in the fire. You were being shaped, not destroyed. And now, you walk as fire itself. Type Amen to get blessing 399. Their obsession is a punishment. A storm that won't let them sleep. Because your light is too bright for their shadows to survive. You are no longer hiding. And they are no longer relevant. Their presence is a reminder of who you used to be, not who you are now. Keep shining. Keep rising. Keep building a world they cannot enter. Because someone who cannot control you will always try to confuse you. But confusion cannot touch someone who walks with divine clarity. Type Amen to get blessing 807. They're checking who's liking your photos. Watching who's smiling at your success. And every smile you receive cuts them deeper than any sword. They once thrived on your confusion. But now it's their mind that's clouded. You walk with clarity, and clarity is a threat to those who feed on control. They are no longer your story. They are just a chapter that closed without applause. And that silence is louder than any goodbye you could have spoken. They send energy trying to pull you back. But nothing they do touches you anymore. You're above it now, unreachable by design. Type Amen to get blessing 937. Their madness will keep growing. Because every attempt to slander you only multiplies your supporters. People don't believe their lies anymore, they believe your strength. You don't have to prove yourself. You've already done more than enough. You've proven that peace is possible without their chaos. You're walking away, not because you're weak, but because you finally see the game for what it was. And you're done playing. You're not angry. You're not bitter. You're just gone. And that absence is haunting them more than presence ever did. Type Amen to get blessing 522. Archangel Michael says, no weapon they formed against your peace shall prosper. The confusion they tried to place in your mind has returned to theirs sevenfold. The clarity you gained is making them lose theirs. They stare at your light hoping it dims. But instead, it blinds them. You don't even have to defend yourself anymore, your life is doing it for you. Everything they tried to hold over your head has collapsed. Because you removed the hook they used to dangle control. And now, they have nothing. Their world is silent without your energy. They're not used to that kind of silence, and it's deafening them. Type Amen to get blessing 610. The more you succeed, the more they shake. Every accomplishment you make is an earthquake in their mind. They never thought you'd survive, let alone thrive. They told others lies about you. But now, those same people are seeing your truth. Your name is being cleared by your evolution. They thought they could paint you into a corner. But you broke every wall, turned it into art, and walked into freedom. Now, they carry regret like a ghost. It follows them into every room. Because what they lost wasn't just control, it was access to something divine. Type Amen to get blessing 880. They used to call you dramatic. Now they call you distant. Because your boundaries feel like rejection to people who were never supposed to be that close. You're not who they remember. You're brighter, bolder, unafraid. And that transformation is a mirror they can't stand to look into. They crave your attention, but you've outgrown that need. You're focused on healing. You're focused on rising. And that makes them spiral. Every day, you make it clearer, you are not coming back. And they are finally beginning to accept it, too late. Type Amen to get blessing 1444. They're trying to build new lies to stay relevant in your life. But even lies can't stand against a soul that walks with purpose. Your name used to be a topic of gossip. Now it's a name spoken with awe. You've become someone they can't stop watching. People they confided in are starting to whisper, maybe you were right all along. And those whispers are louder than screams in their world of illusion. You've moved on. And they're stuck in the place where they tried to bury you. But flowers grew there, and they weren't invited. Type Amen to get blessing 317. This isn't about revenge. This is about release. You let go, and they're still holding on to a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. They crave access. But access is earned, not inherited. And they lost that right when they mistook your kindness for weakness. You're not the one who left, you're the one who woke up. And now their nightmare is watching you live fully, freely, joyfully. Archangel Michael says, you are not required to make room for those who once tried to crush you. Their madness is the echo of your escape. Type Amen to get blessing 712. You used to explain yourself. Now, you simply live in truth. You used to beg to be understood, now you're too busy building your legacy. They missed the control. But they never loved you, they loved the version of you who needed them. That version is gone. You are no longer accessible to manipulation. No longer open to emotional blackmail. You see clearly, and they can't stand that. You are the calm after the chaos they created. And that calm is louder than any argument. Type Amen to get blessing 477. They check your updates hoping to see pain, but all they see is peace. And that peace torments them more than anything else. They think silence means weakness. But your silence is a roar in the spirit. It declares, I'm done being hurt. You don't clap back. You don't respond. You just keep growing. And that silence is more powerful than their noise. They are still at war. But you've declared peace. And peace is the biggest power move you ever made. Type Amen to get blessing 874. They once had your heart, your mind, your attention. But now they don't even have your energy. You've shifted into divine protection. They try to recreate your glow in others, but it never works. Because you were never replaceable. You were always the original. Their soul aches because it knows it mishandled something sacred. And now, it's too late. Let them spiral. Let them panic. Let them drown in the very waters they poured over you. You are dry. You are safe. You are free. Type Amen to get blessing 366. You've become someone they fear, not because of what you'll do, but because of who you are now. Their madness is the price of your growth. They fumble with fake kindness, trying to sneak back in. But the gates are locked, and heaven holds the key. The glow you wear now wasn't given, it was earned. Through scars. Through fire. Through resilience. Archangel Michael says, rejoice. The madness they feel is confirmation that you did what they never expected, you healed. And now you're unstoppable. Type Amen to get blessing 901.